Well, Akron is taking a different approach to try to limit the spread of COVID-19. City Council passed a new private gathering ordinance this week, limiting homeowners to just 6 guests.
But Akron's police union thinks it could place officers in danger as they enforce that law.
Naturally, people are going to want to argue with the police. And like I said, as soon as we knock on that door, the confrontation begins.
Our 5 on Your Side investigator, Joe PAGONAKIS, shows us why council members felt this was the right step to take in Akron's COVID-19 fight.
Courtney Robb, some Akron council members and the Fraternal Order of Police believe city officers policing the number of people inside a private home could be unconstitutional and creates potentially dangerous confrontations.
I don't think is what a police department should be doing.
Akron's Fraternal Order of Police believes its officers knocking on doors and enforcing the city's private gathering ordinance.
A lot of time there's alcohol involved.
Is a recipe for conflict during the upcoming holiday season.
What sometimes can evolve into violence.
The legislation in place until mid-December carries a $250 fine for homeowners who have more than 6 guests in their homes, aren't wearing masks, or aren't at least 6 feet apart. But Akron FOP President Clay COZART says enforcing the ordinance puts officers in undue danger, exposes them to more COVID-19 risk, and takes them away from more important criminal calls.
Our shootings are just daily, people getting shot daily. It's going to take valuable resources away from those calls.
Ward 4 Councilman Russell NEAL voted against the legislation.
And it's an invasion of privacy.
NEAL says more resident education would have been a better choice to slow the COVID-19 spread and says the measure won't effectively prevent irresponsible exposure.
You can take those same people and go to a restaurant or a bar, but you can't meet in your own home.
But Ward 5 Councilwoman Tara Samples stands by the ordinance. She doesn't believe it's putting officers at risk.
Treat it as a welfare check. Treat it as a nuisance call like you already are doing. No one is trying to put our officers in compromising positions.
In response, the FOP is instructing Akron's more than 400 officers.
Don't keep knocking. Don't wait for 10 minutes. You knocked, you tried, nobody answered the door. Go back into your cruiser and handle the next call.
And this legislation calls for a warning the first time officers come to a homeowner's door. The FOP says residents are not obligated to answer the door on a private gatherings complaint. It also says if an officer thinks they're being asked to follow an unlawful order, that officer should contact their supervisor. I'm 5 on Your Side investigator Joe PAGONAKIS.